If I could turn back time to the good old days when Mama sent us to sleep and now we're all so stressed out. Or however that song goes. I did some writing for us. Hopefully I can get through it. Sheesh, it's bright. That reminds me of something. I wrote down, you are the sparkle, not what you can do or what you do or what you have done. It's who you are. Adjust your crown. So you are a bright light. You just have to remember it. Also, I wrote down, you're on a hero's journey. The quest for inner wisdom cannot be found outside of you. It is within. So that song was Stressed Out by 21 Pilots. I also got Why So Serious by Alice Merton. I wrote down, when did we forget all the crazy things that made us feel so part of it? Our youth, so confident, we played our heartstrings, not caring if it ends. Try to learn to let go of all the things that tie you down. Get rid of it, the voice inside that tells me I'm scared. Yeah, scared as shit. But I want to let go of it now. So someone tell me, why so serious? Why so serious? When did we get like this? I still remember we weren't grown up like this. I also wrote down the years 2015, 2019, March 1966. Pisces, Aries, Taurus might be important. Also, you are so much more than your sun sign. You've got a birth chart full of signs that, and they're all important, just like you. I wrote down that you might be having some nostalgic feelings right now. Release the idea of fear. In my world, and like it stands for false evidence appearing real. Also, face everything and rise. I wrote down, are you stressed out or are you excited or nervous because you're challenging your belief systems, which you've associated to like who you are as a person or your identity. Zoom out. Because you're excited because you're doing something new. So I encourage people to reframe feelings, which are not facts, by the way, but reframing them to the positive or the less, whatever energy is that doesn't make you feel like crap, lean that way. Instead of focusing on what could go wrong, ask yourself what could go right. Everything is and has worked out for you in one way or another. You're living proof of that, and how much you've learned. If you can get through all of the things you've ever been through, and you're still kicking, you can get through anything. You just have to remind yourself of that and give yourself so much more credit than you have been giving yourself. You can do anything you put your mind to. Might be struggling with some self-doubt. Have a no regrets kind of mentality. Only lessons learned. That's what we came here to do as souls, to live you are a soul living a human experience. The journey is the destination. I wrote down, be here now. Tomorrow is a new day. And I wrote, don't tell yourself that when something doesn't go well or right, that's like ruins your whole day. You're giving your power away when you do that. I do that too. When we do that. And it's about reframing it. And so maybe it's not the whole day that stinks. Maybe it's just the morning or the afternoon or a few hours or a few minutes. And then we just zoom out, focus on something else. And then maybe get yourself a snack. Make sure you're drinking some water. And then it feels not so heavy. I also wrote, wishing that you were better than who and what you are. Stop that. There's nobody else like you on this planet. And don't compare yourself to anybody else at all. Just compare yourself to who you were yesterday and all the years before today, and focus on how much you've grown, how much you've healed, all of those things. Give yourself credit, please. You might be feeling distracted or overstimulated. if you're feeling that way, ground your energy. You might, I encourage you, I encourage myself to play more, to add more whimsy into our days, because there's so much going on in the world right now, and it's very overstimulating, and there are no words. Dial it in closer to your life, and what you can control. We can only control how we choose to respond or react. We can't control anything outside of us outside of that. And then respond accordingly also, if you need to. Box breathing might be helpful to you. If you don't know what that is, please look it up. I wrote down March Against Fear. And I wrote down anti-war protests. The Wizard of Oz, lions and tigers and bears. Oh my! The qualities that we seek outside of ourselves are actually within. You've had the power within you all along. Release negative or stinking thinking or like ruminating thoughts. Like the Wizard of Oz, if you don't pay attention to it or them, or as you negate them or stand up to the bully that lives inside your head, they will eventually die or go away. And tell yourself a nicer story about yourself or your life and believe it. The Wizard of Oz movie spiritually represents moving from ignorance, which was like represented by Kansas City. I don't mean any disrespect with that. That's what I read and wrote down. Through inner transformation, which is Oz, and then to recognizing one's own divine narrative. And that's like that whole thing in there. I wrote down that 3s are self-expression, creativity, harmony, wisdom, and connection to the divine, and like finding the balance in between of everything. You don't want to lean one way more than the other, especially like if we're like spiritual or into esoteric things. Sometimes it's really easy to get lost in that stuff, or like the healing journey. First of all, you're not broken. There's nothing to fix, and watch for getting stuck in a trap. That is like in that mindset, because it will drain you dry, and you need to live your life. So that's what I mean about balance. That playing or doing fun things or like getting creative will help you with that. 6s represent relationships to self and others. The relationship with yourself, like self-love, is the most important over all of them, because without you having a relationship with yourself, it will be any connection that you go into, it'll turn out to be dysfunctional in one way or another. And then we will point fingers in other people's direction and never hold ourselves accountable, because we are the common denominator of every single relationship we've ever been in. And so it's very much just like dial it in. 1s, manifesting leadership skills, you're charming, confident, and going through self-discovery and self-empowerment. Breaking through your internal barriers, releasing old beliefs about yourself, the world, or people. Emotional release to active initiation. You might be having insecure thoughts or feelings that this way. Those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. I wrote down a few angel numbers. I'll get those for you. I just saw this one. You might want to get in touch with some self-aware friends, meet supportive people. You're called to surround yourself with people who are self-aware and committed to their own personal growth. Allow them to move you forward and cheer you on. Say yes to a gathering or community get-together in which you can meet some supportive people who inspire you. It's not my angel number book. That was number 308. 366 is nothing personal. The 4 Agreements might be good for you to read. It's not personal is law number 2 out of that book. It says you can only control yourself. The people and situations around you that affect you are not about you. Your angels remind you that you can't control how others act, but you can control your response to their reactions. I said that. It's interesting. There are no coincidences. Only synchronicities. Journal about how a recent situation feels personal and deep dive into why it feels that way. 646, hard times, make a promise and keep it. In the trying times that surround you, your angels remind you to keep your focus on what is important. They want you to take time today to recommit yourself to your faith, and the universe will provide your desires. Throughout the day, repeat this mantra: I am safe and protected. Take care of you.